Hello again, Principles of Public Administration, class and professor. This is discussion thread week 2, number 2. In this, I will be discussing about Wilson's dichotomy, Taylor scientific management, Gillick's thing, Weber's bureaucracy, Follett's leadership, and Simon's bounded rationality. I will be going through explaining what each concept is and just giving a brief information of all of what it is too. So let's get started. So first off, what is dichotomy? Well, in Google, dichotomy is two things being contrasted or different from each other. So Wilson's dichotomy of politics and administration is they're both better when they are separate from each other. So the picture on my PowerPoint gives the best explanation that I can give about Wilson's dichotomy. But my example of Wilson's dichotomy would be two men getting a job in the government, but having different responsibilities and ways of obtaining that job in the government. So, for example, a man who is educated is running for governor, but won't know how to do his job till getting the job, or when being selected to be that person. And then another man applies to become a cop with no experience, but is one of the selected few to actually become a cop. But by the time he's done, he would already know what he needs to do to become, or would already know what to do when he's a cop. To be honest, this theory was the most difficult one for me. I'm not sure even if I was correct on this, but this is what I think Wilson's dichotomy was. I hope the other ones I can give a better explanation. So Taylor's scientific management is basically harmony in the workplace, which means there is cooperation, there is sharing the load with people, training the employees right, always having a positive outlook on everything, and most definitely discipline when you're working. So, for example, for me would be my job. The new trainees would come in, and I would actually train them, and I would tell them everything that I knew and that they should know. So it was passed on, and to also know how to keep the workflow going, and if anything were to happen, that to always help another employee, whether it was a mistake that's happened or some type of other action that occurred. And I believe that's what Frederick Winslow Taylor was trying to say. Pretty much work hard and harmony inside the workplace. Gillick's theory is basically his view of the functions of what a manager should do. A manager, boss, a leader, whatever. So what it is the acronym is POSDCORB, and it is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. I believe in the public sector this would be the president. The president would be technically the manager that functions pretty much everything, that tells what needs to be done. He would plan what to do, organize it, get a staff, he would direct them, coordinate the situations, get a report, and then budget later. And I believe that's what Gillick's theory is. So Weber's bureaucracy is the most powerful management structure in all of administrations. Like in military and education and all businesses whatsoever. So one of them is like division of labor, which is like complex work broken down into simpler jobs. Hierarchy of authority, which means accepted chain of command. Then you have like framework of rules and regulations, which is like what are the procedures at the job and what are the standard rules you need to follow by. And then you have impersonality, which means um, being hired or promoted should be earned rather than favoritism by someone who works there. And then you have formal selection, where people should get the job because of their training, their qualifications, and their education. And then you have career orientation, which is pretty much the managers who are career professionals. And basically those are what a bureaucracy should have. For Follett's leadership, I understood it as the leader compromising with its followers, or understanding what they are going through, and understanding what basically both the leader and followers' common purpose is in the business. So an example for this would be in the public sector, it would be maybe a fire chief. A fire chief would possibly also lead in with its team to wherever there's an emergency at. They would all go together as a team. And that's what I believe Follett's leadership meant, everyone working together for a common purpose. Simon's bounded rationality is, in the book, it says human behavior is neither totally rational nor totally non-rational. And what the bounded rationality is supposed to mean is a practical decision for solving a problem. What else it says is also it's supposed to mean it's satisfying enough solution. It's not the most ideal solution, but it's the most satisfying solution. So in public sector, what I think is like a law, and I think a law that has a bounded rationality is gun laws. There is no ideal solution for what we should do with gun laws, but in the government there are satisfying enough solutions that we have and possibly we are still working on. In this discussion thread, I can say honestly that 5 out of the 6 of these theories I understand pretty well. I will have to keep looking back through Wilson's dichotomy to understand it a little more, or maybe I can see somebody else's video to understand it much better than what I was thinking. But other than that, I think I did pretty well, and getting to know all these theories gave me a great understanding of how business works in the government, just administration in general, and business. It's a great learning factor, and I can't wait to learn more. Thank you.